Let's bring in Mr. Saeb Shaath, author and Middle East affairs expert through Skype from Belfast. Many thanks, Saeb Shaath, to join Press TV. I was wondering how significant this move by the Arab countries to establish or basically reopen their embassies in Syria is. You tell me.
It's all was a calculated move since the visit of Omar al-Bashir, the president of Sudan, when he went to Damascus for a few hours and met with the President Assad to see if, to test the waters, if Mr. Assad will accept such moves from the Gulf states like United Arab Emirates, and then to move back Syria to join, take its seat back in the Arab League. This is all came on the back of the victory the Syria is achieving and reconciling its own powers on its territory. That's one hand, and one hand. The other one is the resistance in its own, which is supported and trained by Syria. In Palestine, like we witnessed in the last war, or in Lebanon, are winning the wars, and we witness in Gaza alone. The Israelis were calling for ceasefire under 48 hours from the war they launched on Gaza. And in the thanking the speech, which is the Hamas leader, Hania was thanking Syria and Iran directly for the support by weaponry and training. So the resistance camp is winning, and the other side, we witness the humiliating defeat of the United States of America, and it's leaving from the east of Euphrates areas and dumping its alliance in the Kurdish forces in their Qasr, who were the tool the United States of America tried to use to split Syria, the north, to create in it a sort of military bases in there protected by the Kurdish. So the resistance camp is winning, and the Americans dumped their alliance in there, and they dumped the support they provided for them. So the upper hands in the region right now, militarily, is for the alliance between Syria, Iran, and the resistance, the Palestinian resistance, Hezbollah, supported by Russia. And we've seen as well how committed the Russians were in standing their ground in Syria. They lost many soldiers, and they helped the Syrians in defeating the American design. So the bigger pictures shows these states who were hurrying up to normalize their relationship with Israel. Now they are turning their little bit toward Damascus, and all of that in admission of their own defeat, because these states like the Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates are involved up to their neck in the turmoil in Syria and in supporting the terror groups in there. Especially United Arab Emirates now is the closest state to Saudi Arabia, and by opening its embassy in there,
it's very interesting that you brought that up, because you just named United Arab Emirates as well as Bahrain, and who doesn't know the relations that exist between these two countries with Saudi Arabia? And then you just mentioned that they were up to neck, basically involved in the insurgency that was going on in Syria for quite many years. What I was wondering, and perhaps this is very interesting, that I'm pretty sure that especially Bahrain wouldn't want to establish the new relations or reopen its embassy in Damascus without sort of coordination with Saudi Arabia, if not asking for permission. I want you to comment on this, the reopening of its embassy, the coordination that these countries have, I'm pretty sure, have had with Saudi Arabia, and perhaps, the balance of power in the region from now on, especially in light of these new developments.
There is, as you mentioned yourself, Bahrain won't dare to open its mouth say it literally that way, without the permission of Saudi policeman on the streets of Manama, not even a politician. The same thing, the United Arab Emirates is the sort of the political brain, Mohammed bin Zayed behind the MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, and he is the one who's drawing Saudi Arabia to most of these issues in the Arab world. So the embassy of United Arab Emirates will be the bridge between the Syrian Foreign Affairs Department in there and the Saudis to start to mend the relationship. But this is a lot of things to be mended in here, because Saudi Arabia done a lot of damage to Syria. So we'll see what is the money the Saudi is going to put on the table or how to help in rebuilding Syria, the compensation. A lot of things have to be discussed. Syria is victorious in here. Syria is not defeated. So Syria will be supported by the resistance camp with Iran and the Arab resistance in Palestine and in Lebanon as well, and the Russian. To stand this ground and to put the demands exactly, because in the future these states are worried about their own thrones, especially in Saudi Arabia. Another indication from Saudi Arabia was the removal of Adil al-Jubair yesterday and changing him with a new Saudi foreign minister as well. Adil al-Jubair, we remember his famous statements every year. He said, there is nothing going to happen unless Bashar al-Assad to leave Syria, not even to leave power, to leave all Syria. Now we've seen who's leaving office. Adil al-Jubair and the Saudis doing that, knowing very well the Americans failed in there. So the balance of power, as I always said, and I said that from day one, when they started their trouble and their war in Syria, tilted to the resistance camp. And at the time, I mentioned as well, the United States of America will be losing a lot in Syria and will not be the only dominant superpower in the world, because Syria will be the fertile ground to produce multiple superpowers around the world and in the region. So we noticed today there is the demise of all of this. The United States of America invested heavily in training and in supplying weapons and creating such terror groups to attack Syria.
That was a very good conversation I had with you, Saeb Shaath, author and Middle East affairs expert, all the way from Belfast in Ireland. Thank you very much.